Hello and welcome to the NBA and OKC podcast. I'm Mike Sherman, sports editor of the Oklahoman. With me, NBA beat writer Darnell Mayberry. Darnell, the NBA is finally in Oklahoma City. Last week, the announcement came. Clay Bennett stood up there and said, the transition begins now. An NBA team is going to play at the Ford Center this season. So, after all these months of talking about courtroom, dilemmas, drama, movements, now we get to talk about an NBA team being here, and this is a podcast of first impressions. So let's give our viewers what's your first impression of what kind of buzz this has created in our community?
I think the first impression that I have is, excitement. I think a lot of people are excited. You saw that in the more than 11,000 people that signed up to the ticket request list within the first 24 hours of the announcement last Wednesday night. So I think this city has waited on this moment for a long time, and now it's sort of surreal that it's finally here. You see, if you go on NBA.com, they've changed the name from Seattle Supersonics to Oklahoma City. Now, they haven't named the team yet, which we're going to talk about here shortly, but just all these surreal signs like the Oklahoma City jerseys in the Summer League that they unveiled yesterday, I think is just excitement, and every time we see those little things taking place with Oklahoma City on the name, printed everywhere, I just think it's an excitement level that people have waited on for a long time.
I had my moment. I was playing golf in Chickasha, Oklahoma on the 4th of July, early in the morning. My brother-in-law, his sons, and my father-in-law and I get up and we go down there and play golf. And all my brother-in-law wants to talk about is season tickets. And then the guys behind us in the foursome or fivesome or sixsome, I can't remember what it was,
I'm glad they were behind you.
Yeah, there were some in front of us too. But anyway, they wanted. We heard them talking about the team and the season tickets. These folks down in Chickasha, probably not in the demographic that's thought of as prime ticket holders, prime ticket customers, but they're energized. And I just ran into this everywhere I went. Went to the Tuttle Miss Ice Cream pageant down there, a family deal. People were talking about it down in Tuttle, Oklahoma. So I think these owners, when they announce this, they're getting the excitement they want. There's a lot of pent-up excitement about this team. That's the buzz. Also, I heard 11,000 requests for tickets.
Yeah.
Behind each one of those requests, there's on average 3 people in line. So, like for mine, I put mine in. There's 3 or 4 tickets that we're interested in buying. Now, we might split the season ticket up, but 11,000 times 3, that's 33,000.
Yeah, so it's a lot more than the 11,000 that's listed.
Come back to Mick's comment. On the night of the announcement, Mick said, I'm not worried about anything but whether we have enough seats to hold all these folks.
That's a good point.
19,200. Ticket demand is off the charts. We talked about that yesterday, courtesy of live streaming video on the OrlandoMagic.com. You got to lay your eyes on the rookie team, the Orlando Summer League team that represents Oklahoma City. Jeff Green, the first-round draft pick, Russell Westbrook. First impressions.
I think Russell Westbrook is going to impress us. I think he's going to surprise us with how well he's going to play from day one. I think now it's Summer League.
Yeah.
Let me say that. I mean, these guys aren't going to be. Most of these guys that he's playing against aren't going to be in the NBA, but he showed flashes of what he brings to the table. I mean, Kevin Durant had a comment from out there in Orlando. He said that he was poised, he was calm and collected, and he ran the point guard position extremely well for his first time. He made a reference to his own experience in Summer League last year. He and Jeff Green
had a rough shooting day.
Yeah, he said he was nervous, but he looked at Russell Westbrook and DJ White, and he was impressed with their poise. I like Westbrook. I like what I saw from him last night. Yesterday afternoon, rather. He showed he could shoot. He showed he could get to the rim whenever he wanted to, and he can finish. I mean, you've seen the YouTube highlights. I mean, he can flat out dunk over you when he wants to.
He likes to dunk,
and when he doesn't, he can set up his teammates. I mean, sort of. Now, don't I'm not going there, but Chris Paul-esque. He'll get to the rim and find the open man for easy layups. He had one a pass to Nick Lewis, whoever he is, who won't be on the team next year, but the fact that he set him up and he set up his teammates like that all game long, I think he only had 1 turnover, so that was impressive. He had a great debut. Let's see what he does throughout the rest of the week.
Now, I didn't get to watch it because I was in a meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm in meetings a lot sometimes. But here's what I did hear. I hear one, Barry Tramore, man, said he dribbled too much. Now, Barry didn't study it, but Barry doesn't like people to dribble too much. He said Green had a tough shooting day. Now,
I think he was 6 of 16. Not bad, but, not great.
Okay, but these are just the first impressions. Okay, let's talk about a first impression too. The team name, Sonics. We're not going to talk about that. We've been calling it the team formerly called Sonics.
Yeah.
But their legacy. There's some talk that some parts of that legacy will come along, that the owners retain rights to put up banners. What do you think of that?
I think they should stay in Seattle. Not just the originals, but, no duplicates.
No duplicates.
Oklahoma City, let's create our own legacy. Barry Trammell wrote about it, I think, in Sunday's paper.
Yeah.
And I agree wholeheartedly. I think that belongs in Seattle. Nobody here hardly even knows who Jack Sikma is. Especially if you're under 35.
I actually had that move. That little pivot move.
Easy there.
I had it.
Easy there.
I could get it again.
I think, the Gus Williams, Gary Payton, all these guys, these Sonic legends, leave their history up in Seattle. I think we should create our own legacy here.
I'm from Baltimore, and when the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore, remember the Baltimore Sun printed this special section about the Cleveland Browns legacy. I didn't like how that felt. I was like, gosh, I hope they don't stay the Browns. Well, then they unveiled the new name, Ravens, and started clean. Our man Barry hates when that happens, but I'm for it. New, almost treat it like an expansion franchise, except you got good players. That's what I'm for. Okay, one more quick first impression. Free agency starts when? Either today or tomorrow? Wednesday. So they've already started the negotiations.
They can sign officially on Wednesday.
Okay, and start having press conferences soon thereafter. Here's my question for you. What's one player that this franchise could go out and get, should go out and get in your opinion?
I think they need some three-point shooters. They had one last year. He was overpaid in Wally Zerbiak, and he really never did what he was supposed to in Seattle. But I think they need a three-point shooter. You look at a guy, I'm going to throw out some names who aren't going to do anything for anybody, but Salim Stoudemire, the old Arizona guard, the Atlanta Hawks.
Remember that game he had at the Ford Center where he was just from the timeline?
Think Eddie House. This guy can heat up and get hot in a heartbeat, and it's just he can make it from anywhere. So he's going to be a cheap player.
By the way, Oklahoma State fans, they remember Salim Stoudemire shot him out of the NCAA tournament one year.
Gordon Gierczek is another one. He's older, but he can play. He can shoot the basketball. And
really?
I think you're going to need guys to free up, keep the defense honest when you have Kevin Durant and then Russell Westbrook penetrating and dishing. Gordon Gierczek is not a good name. That he's not a sexy name.
I don't even like saying it. It sounds strange.
But he feels a need. I think the Sonics, or whatever they're going to be called, needs three-point shooting.
I call him the worst player on the Suns last year. I just didn't think he was a very good player. Here's a name for you. I'm going to throw one out. Tony Allen.
Okay.
Tony Allen, former Oklahoma State defensive stopper, as my friend Mike Baldwin would frequently call anybody who played good defense at Oklahoma State. Their defensive stopper, and he was. Made a bunch of defensive plays, has been nicked up in the NBA. A lot of weird injuries. Hurt his knee dunking one time, was out for a long time, almost didn't even play in the NBA Finals for the Celtics, but came in a decisive game.
Toughness. He showed he wasn't supposed to play in the Finals. He showed his toughness. Give him credit for that.
And he's a free agent. He also gives you that local flavor that I'm calling it the Desmond Mason role.
Not quite.
The Desmond Mason role of the good local player that they signed. It's good public relations. But Tony Allen's got some ups. He's got some speed. Maybe not what he had before the injuries, but the matter is just price. I think for a team looking for more defensive presence, I think Tony Allen can be that for him.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I like Salim Stoudemire. I like the shot. Hey, listen, that's all for the NBA and OKC podcast. We'll see you next week.